Hello, AAA industry developers and executives. This is Something Guy 912, expressing my disdain and overall jaded behavior with the video game industry and video gaming as a whole. No, this disillusionment with video games has nothing to do with gaming misogyny, as some critics of said medium would like to decry. It has been through a small depreciation of the overall ethics and authenticity of innovations and risk-taking throughout the gaming medium that has made me just wave a hand away dismissively at most major titles. Oh, Titanfall 2 is good compared to Titanfall 1? Why didn't they fucking make Titanfall 1 good in the first place? And it still wouldn't matter since it's published by EA, the most cynical, toxic game publisher on a spearhead of horrible video game development. Oh, Final Fantasy 15 is actually better compared to Final Fantasy 13 and 14? I guess Square Enix is going to give a shit about this game, pulling the curtain on their fans again before making another Final Fantasy game that completely loses me in the plot and makes fans hate Square Enix again. Oh, Watch Dogs 2 is better than Watch Dogs 1? Hey Ubisoft, your game is misogynist. Now pander to my ideology. Oh, thank you for the marginalized person of character. The hashtag fuck Konami, Valve's Steam Greenlight quality control, pre-orders, season passes, disingenuous DLC content. All this has given me glazed eyes towards otherwise good releases. I think this all began in 2010 with the release of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Let me tell you a little story. A while back in late 2009, I used to go to a friend of mine's almost daily just to take a look at the latest Game Informer magazine to get the latest of some new releases. And there was an article in question for a remake of the classic 1999 game, Hot Pursuit. I have fond pleasant memories with the Hot Pursuit game, being the game that ignited my enjoyment of racing games and the Need for Speed franchise as a whole, compounded by one of the greatest racing games that I can remember, Most Wanted, and no, not the 2012 remake. I remember distinctly the article in question promising such wonderful things as 4-player local multiplayer, an 8-player local system link, and a greater extension of the car customization that was first introduced in Need for Speed Underground, followed by Free Roam in Need for Speed Underground 2. Most of all, the exciting perspective of being the chaser rather than the chase in a series that has constantly made you the one being chased by the cops throughout the game was the tip of the iceberg of my interest with the game in question. And when I got the game as a birthday present in 2010, guess what I fucking got? 20 minutes of explain the always online multiplayer segment. Another 20 minutes of expository drivel with the cars. Cookie cutter missions. No car customizations. Hell, you can't even fucking choose what car you want to drive in each mission with a limited color palette. No local multiplayer. No fun. No excitement. I was completely lied to by a magazine that I once thought was expressing the objective truth, and a video game company that, while had no opinion of in the past, had a grounded history of producing well-done games, solidified in me that I will never, ever touch another EA-published game, monetarily speaking. I was already pissed off of EA with the release of Battlefield 3, while being more teamwork based than most Call of Duty shooters was also another example of the game developers lying to their core audience and just going with it like as if nothing happened. This is the reason why I don't give a shit about what EA makes, unless I can get their games free. Even if I hear good things about Battlefield 1 or Titanfall 2. I've ousted myself from a company because of this, because they shat all over a title that I loved as a kid, and that is something that can't be simply forgiven with just one diamond in a million roughs of EA's continued practice of lying, manipulation, cynicism, and playing it safe the whole way through. It's no short wonder that EA has been nominated Worst Company of the Year twice, despite more morally unethical things that businesses like Bank of America has done, until EA completely does a 180 turn on everything they have ever done, or just simply die as a gaming publisher, which seems sooner than later. I will never financially endorse an EA game to the fucking grave. This disillusionment didn't end with just racing games or EA. It grew in 2012 with Mass Effect 3, infamous for daring to make their audience pay $10 for an alternate ending to an already horrible ending. Halo 4, a boring excuse to continue the story of Halo 3 for any reason whatsoever by a company that was made solely for that purpose alone. Diablo 3, also infamous for auction house woes, and the first gaming company to introduce always-on DRM, and fail, surprise surprise. Resident Evil 6, unable to make a horror game or a shooter, but trying to do both while juggling two running chainsaws with no hands. And who could forget Most Wanted, the second Hot Pursuit, shitting on the classic from 2005 that was the pinnacle of all Need for Speed video games. Sure, there were highlights, like with Far Cry 3, Dishonored, and Borderlands 2, but it just seemed that I had to shit off more genres and franchises that I like than introduce new ones in my life. And of course, it didn't stop with just the video games that came out. It also poisoned the games that I was currently enjoying. Team Fortress 2, one of the most consistent games that I've played for the last 4 years, has grown distant from its core fan base with consistent, disappointing update after update. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could shove enemies with your gun instead of healing yourself with it? Yeah, I bet you do. Hey, you know that main mechanic with the righteous bison that hit an enemy multiple times? Well, it's actually a bug, and now we made it completely useless. Hey, here's a big rock for you to chisel out into what is currently the matchmaking mode that we just hand-fisted to compete with Overwatch, but learned nothing from it. On top of all the other bugs current with TF2, it also stems from the current business procedures that Valve has been doing, with just letting any shit developer try to rake in some dollars copy-pasting assets from other games into a mishmash Frankenstein monster of a game in the Steam Greenlight website, as well as games that show promise like No Man's Sky or Mighty Number 9, completely falling from the hype tree into oblivion. And to have this all pervaded by the gaming media, turning its back on their core audience under the guise of equality, under fear of being labeled misogynist or racist by hipster douchebags who want to ride the coattails of the medium but not give a fuck about the medium that they are writing, with copy-paste article after copy-paste article declaring gamers dead and that they don't have to be your audience. Gamergate, a gaming journalism ethics movement, lambasted as whatever buzzword is convenient to where you lay on the oppression stack, shows that the gaming industry will bend knee to anyone who screams incoherently about the pixels on the screen. I am well aware that this is not a sentiment shared with most game publishers or developers, but to have an entire faculty of my life completely subsidized in favor of identity politics and disingenuous prattles about male entitlement because publishers are too dickless to stand up on their own principles and not let words define them as such shows the ultimate, and why I just can't give a rat's ass anymore for the gaming industry at this point. I have bought count it, 2 games that were released in this year, Doom 4 and Dishonored 2. Both sequels, both hugging close to the wall lest they burn themselves for trying to breach anywhere past comfortable. And while I did have a blast with the single player of Doom 4, Dishonored 2 was only bought so that my friend can enjoy it. I play these games on a console system that requires me to download the entire game despite it being on the disc itself, on a console that tried to push itself as some kind of always online DVR device more so than a proper evolution from the Xbox 360, and still having to use the CD to play the game even after the fact. This is not an otherworldly, omniscient statement that you should take to heart. This is merely my reasons for why I have become numb to gaming and its practices as a whole. I know there are plenty of you who are passionate for fun and new and exciting games, that you hope that EA will have a change of heart, that Konami won't stop fucking up, that Ubisoft will give a shit about its PC ports, but for me, the hope has died in me. I go with 1,000-yard stares. I played old relics like Warcraft 3, Heroes 3, Roller Coaster Tycoon, and Team Fortress 2 as bloated, egocentric, cynical gaming companies released the 16th Call of Duty clone in a place mired in abject mediocrity and sameness, just to remind myself when gaming companies used to give a shit about earning your dollar rather than taking it.